The worst advice you've ever gotten in jiu-jitsu?
The worst advice? Well, I wouldn't call it the worst advice because it's funny. Like, okay, when I was my first Pan Ams as a black belt, I won my first round match and went into my second round match, and I was going against Samuel Braga. Bummer, right? Anybody who's familiar with Samuel Braga, he's an absolute killer, monster Gracie Barra guy. One of the best Gracie Barra competitors at the time, right? And Megaton goes, it's funny, man, because I remember I looked at him like, what? He goes, hey, Michael, go into his closed guard and hold on. I was like, go into his closed guard and hold on, really?
Get your 2 points for that fake takedown.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even say that, bro. He didn't even think I was going to take him down. He was right. You know, he was like, you know, he's going to pull on you, but make sure you go into his closed guard and hold on. And I was like, dang, man, Meg must not be too confident with me in this match, because that's some interesting advice. And in hindsight, I wish I'd have taken it because, he stuffed my first takedown, and then he pulled on me, and his Berimbolo game is lights out. Okay, his bolo game was lights out, and that's what Meg was trying to get at. He's like,
he wanted you to get a pass.
Yeah, he's gonna. Well, no, he wanted me to hold on. He wasn't expecting me to pass. Yeah. And I think that's where the advice ended, because there was really nothing else to say after that. I mean, he knew. He's like, okay, I got my baby black belt here going against Samuel Braga, right? And at the time, I was kind of naive to who people were. Like, I didn't know who Samuel Braga was at the time, right? So I'm looking over at this little Brazilian dude, like, okay, I got this. I can take this guy. And then I watch Megaton and him talking before the match, and I'm like, Meg's really good friends with my next opponent. You know? And they were talking in Portuguese, blah, 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 right? And I was like, okay, just by seeing Meg interact with this guy, I'm kind of scared now, you know? And sure enough, I got submitted real quick. That guy's a freak. But yeah, interesting advice, right? Go into his closed guard and hold on.
We were just talking about you never want to do that.
I know. You don't want to be in a closed guard. But there's certain guys where they're so far ahead of you, right? That sometimes you want to break some fundamental rules just to avoid...
Stall out.
Yeah, to avoid stuff. But like, I don't even know. Like, if the tables were turned, I probably wouldn't have given that same advice. I think Meg was just like, he was at a loss. He knew he had to coach me, but he was like, bro, he's like, bless you. You're my sacrificial lamb. You know? So yeah, what about you? What's the worst advice you ever
man, I don't know. Well, we were kind of talking about it earlier. Is most of my coaches coming up have been giants, so
right.
I've been really strong and haven't really gotten that little guy coaching.
Right.
You know, I've done some of Jack's classes and everything, and they're always gold.
Right.
But you know, you're talking about my game, and when I go against people that are around my size, I feel like a monster because of the strength disparity and stuff,
right.
and the pressure. But it only works to a threshold, and then so I need to get more movement and everything. And I've never really had that advice of move. It's always been no pressure here, pressure there, rather than flowing with things.
Right, certain spots, that's good advice, you know, pressure. But in general, right, your whole game, like if you were to sum it up, I wouldn't want my 140-pound student to have like big guy game, right? Pressure passing, Hicks and Gracie style.
And it is interesting because if you look at most rooms, they're typically bigger than me, so it doesn't make sense to cater a class to the smaller guys when it's 90% bigger guys.
True story.
Getting that specialized attention and stuff, maybe, you know, the privates and things are gold for the smaller guys if that's where you're at.
Or just a lot of sparring, man, because the truth of the matter is you learn more sparring. Like the people that have the belief or whatever about like don't even drill, just spar, like they're onto something there, right? They're onto something there.